6 groups of vulnerabilities that are most often used in attacks according to Palo Alto, and the end of IT globalization. In the same Palo Alto 2022 Unit 42 Incident Response Report, there is one more interesting point. Groups of vulnerabilities that were most often used in attacks. Quote, for cases where responders positively identified the vulnerability exploited by the threat actor, more than 87% of them fell into one of 6 CVE categories. So, CVE categories. 55% Microsoft Exchange ProxyShell, 14% Log4j, 7% SonicWall CVEs, 5% Microsoft Exchange ProxyLogon, 4% Zoho ManageEngine ADSelfService Plus, 3% Fortinet CVEs, 13% other. On the one hand, this can be used to prioritize vulnerabilities and also to identify software and software groups that need special monitoring. I would also like to look at the vulnerabilities in the other category, but unfortunately they are not included in the report. On the other hand, it shows how all these vulnerabilities and incidents depend on a particular region. Well, of course, Microsoft Exchange is used everywhere. Log4j has also affected almost every organization in one way or another. Perhaps in our region, I mean in Russia, some organizations use Fortinet, but SonicWall and Zoho look absolutely exotic. And in those locations where Unit 42 solves incident response cases, these are very important vendors and products. Or we can remember last year's story with CVEs. Thousands of companies have been affected by the ransomware, but again, it was not in our region, and therefore it was not particularly interesting for us. Taking into account the exodus of Western vendors from the Russian IT market, the landscapes here and there will differ more and more. More and more incidents in Russia will occur due to vulnerabilities in our local software, in software that Western information security vendors may never have heard of, and it works both ways. Does this mean that in Russia we will need vulnerability management solutions focused on our Russian IT realities? Well, apparently yes, and something tells me that this will not only happen in Russia. It seems that the time of total globalization in IT is running out, and the ability of VM vendors to relatively easily take positions in new regions is also disappearing. The great fragmentation is coming, but it will be even more interesting that way.